with jury selection underway in the trial of financier Tim Durham. Attorneys are choosing the men and women who will decide whether Durham is guilty in the largest financial fraud case in Indiana history. Call 6 investigator Rafael Sanchez has been following this case since the day that federal agents raided Durham's downtown office, and he joins us live outside the federal courthouse. Rafael?
Chris, good afternoon. The process began about 3 hours ago, and we yet to have one juror to sit on the jury as this process is underway. Now, a couple of people were excused from the process. A couple walked in and said that Timothy Durham did not look like he was someone that could be innocent. The other folks said that they could not be fair. Despite nearly 3 years of media coverage, there were some folks who said they had not heard about this case. Inside the federal courthouse, 300 potential jurors were called to determine who would consider the government's evidence against Indianapolis businessman Timothy Durham and his associates James Cochran and Rick Snow. Can you get a fair trial in Central Indiana?
I'm hopeful. We won't know for sure until we go through the jury selection process and find out what this group of people who were randomly selected has been exposed to. Once we know that, we'll know. Everybody is hopeful.
The former leaders of the now bankrupt Ohio-based Fair Finance are accused of cheating 5,200 people out of more than $200 million. Federal prosecutors say the men used the money to live high on the hog. Defense attorneys say once the FBI raided the company in 2009, they had a difficult time saving it. Plus, the country's economic meltdown did not help. I called some of the Fair Finance victims, like Jim Ernie, who lost $100,000. Jim sold the boat in his yard to make money to survive. He's keeping an eye on what's happening in Indianapolis and the men he believes are responsible.
I don't think they care. I personally don't think they care, because it was a Ponzi scheme, and they knew somebody was going to get hurt, and they didn't care who.
Cynthia Massey lost a couple $1,000. It hurt her family budget. She says she'd have a message for the jury.
I would tell them that I feel what they done is the same as if somebody broke into my home and, stole, things that, were of value or even of sentimental value. What they did was wrong. They came in and they took what did not belong to them.
Opposing arguments will emerge while each side seeks their version of justice. For now, the jury selection process is going very slow, but I am told it should be done, Chris, by the end of the day. They hope to pick 12 jurors and 4 alternates. Chris?
And Rafael, who did the potential jurors confuse Durham with today?
That was an interesting thing. About 2 of the potential jurors came in and they thought that Timothy Durham was Marcus Schrenker. As you may recall, Mr. Schrenker is the gentleman who attempted to fake his death in a plane crash and was trying to avoid police and state regulators. Of course, Mr. Schrenker is serving time on a separate securities fraud case, but they thought that Tim Durham was Marcus Schrenker. In fact, those folks were allowed to continue in the jury pool because, after all, the only folks on trial here are Timothy Durham and his 2 associates.
All right, Rafael, we will see you for a full report beginning tonight at 5 o'clock. We also